Hey guys, it's Corinne with Thompson RV in Pendleton, Oregon. Here today to show you the brand new 2025 Glacier Peak F27KVS. So it is a brand new 2025 model, so there are a few little changes, lighter flooring, lighter carpet, but more importantly, the onboard generator. So that is something they just added to the Glacier Peak series, which has been something I have been asking for years. It's the big 5500 Marquee Gold generator, so it is super quiet. When you're in the coach, you can barely even tell it's running. So that is something that is very, very exciting that they've added to the Glacier Peak. But also this model in general is just a really cool floor plan. So opposing slide outs, which makes the trailer feel a lot bigger than it really is. And then with the huge bank of windows in the back, that's one of the reasons the KVS model in the travel trailers is one of our most popular. But you know, sometimes you're just torn between staying short and getting everything you want. That's where the Glacier Peak fifth wheels come in. Because you're putting a bunch of the length up and over your bed, you end up with only about 27, 28 feet behind your pickup truck. So really, this is a short, would be considered a very short travel trailer, but when you get in it, it's like the Taj Mahal. So that is the reason that I switched to a Glacier Peak years ago and really have kind of been stuck on fifth wheels ever since, is because I do love that overall length. The whole package with the truck and the trailer is a lot shorter, yet I have all the room inside of a very long travel trailer. The other thing I love about the fifth wheels is the headroom. So outdoors RVs are known for their headspace. We get a lot of people that are quite tall that purchase outdoors RVs specifically for the arched ceiling. But here it's even taller. So if you need a little extra headspace, or maybe you're thinking about traveling long periods of time and just don't want to strangle each other, right? You've got extra space that makes it feel more like an apartment. So this floor plan, like I said earlier, has two opposing slide outs. So you have theater seating right here. You can option in a sleeper sofa, so we can always swap that out. So sleeper sofa or theater seating here. You have the refrigerator here in the slide out as well. And that is going to be the large 10 cubic foot, 12 volt Furrion refrigerator. Because they've gone to the 12 volt fridge, we do recommend lithium batteries. We do all Battleborn here. And so when I'm out on the outside, I will show you where the batteries go and what we recommend. But the cool thing about a Glacier Peak is also that it will hold up to 4 of the 100 amp hour lithium batteries. So a little bit more than you can fit on the tongue of a trailer. You've got a pantry right here with a bank of 3 drawers. They use heavy duty ball bearing drawer guides on all of their drawers. And another one here under the fridge. But then what most people love about this trailer is going to be the rear kitchen with all of these windows. So you have lots of prep space. You have the garbage can chute right here. I'll show you on the outside how you access that. You have nice sink covers that give you additional counter space if you're not using the sink. Stainless steel farm style sink with the wire rack in the bottom to protect it. Because it's a titanium series, it's going to have the high arc faucet with the pull out. Again, huge windows. Because it's a titanium, they're going to be the frameless windows, which I'll show you when we go to the outside. One thing I love about these, so obviously they're dual pane. That's part of the Four Seasons package. They crank out and they actually open out like this, so they pop out versus sliding. So when you're at the Oregon coast or you're somewhere where it's raining, you can still have the windows open, which I think is a really nice feature. Because this is a rear kitchen model, you're gonna have an exhaust vent. So it comes standard with one max air fan, exhaust only. That is your exhaust for your range right here. You have the knife rack behind the stove. Additional counter space because you have the glass stovetop cover. You flip that open, you have the 3 burner range. Stainless steel oven because it's a titanium series. It does have quite a large oven for an RV. And then the new stainless steel pot and pan drawer on the bottom, that's new for 2025. The microwave is down low, that way you don't impede your view here in the back. And then you have more storage down below, as well as this little corner cabinet here to give you even more storage here in the 27 KVS. And last but not least, you have more drawers right here. So 4 more drawers here, 3 more drawers here. So this thing has more drawers than you can shake a stick at. And then a huge space underneath the kitchen sink. There's enough room for 2 full-size garbage cans down there, but you have the garbage can chute, so that's actually up and out of the way, so you can use that for all sorts of storage, and additional storage here on the back side. Coming around to the second slide out, you're going to have Outdoors RV's mountain dinette. So it's over 7 feet long when it's made down into a bed. Extremely sturdy table. They take the table bases and legs out of the boating industry. It's a very high-end table system. You have storage on each side of the dinette as well. And then when you push these in, they have a nice little latch that locks them closed so they won't fly open during transit. Because it's a titanium, there's going to be a lot of features that are different in this model than, say, a Mountain Series. But you're going to have all wood trim around the slide out. You're going to have wood trim around the windows. I love the blackout shades that Outdoors RV uses. And then you have more storage here at the entertainment center. So you have a little bit of storage above the fireplace, up here. You get the 50-inch flat screen in quite a few of the Glacier Peak fifth wheels. Because it's titanium, this is going to be all solid surface countertops. So here next to the bed in the bathroom, so it's not Formica, it's the nice solid surface. And a little more storage down here. The fireplace is optional, but with so much storage already in this coach, it didn't make sense for us to order it with an additional cabinet here, but that's what you would get if you didn't get the fireplace there. You'd have 2 more cupboard doors and more storage. USB port as well as a 12-volt port. You've got your CD, DVD, Bluetooth, Bluetooth to your phone, so you can listen to your phone when you're outside under the awning, under those speakers, or here inside the coach. If you play DVDs, it will also play the sound through the speakers. And then your generator switch is going to be right over here with a bank of light switches. Because it's a titanium, you're going to get a digital thermostat and 15K air conditioner. And another titanium feature is going to be the little remote that will run your awning, your slide outs, and everything. You can do it from outside. So you don't have to run them from the switches inside. You can just put in your pin here and walk around the coach while running things out. That way you don't run into anything maybe at your campsite. On almost all of the Glacier Peaks, everything is the same from here forward. The new F26 RDS, the new model with the rear dinette, that one has a slightly different bedroom bathroom, but the F26 RKS, 28 RKS, 27 MKS, and the KVS model all have an identical bedroom bathroom setup. Here in the bedroom, you have a full-size 60 by 80 queen bed, and because it's a titanium, you are going to have the higher-end gel-infused memory foam mattress. Solid surface countertops next to the bed. You have under cabinet lighting next to the bed, as well as reading lights. One thing I get asked about a lot is why the Glacier Peak has a step up here at the bed. So you can see if I open this up, you can see that there is a step up. When I get to the outside, I'll tell you more about a mid-profile fifth wheel versus a full-profile fifth wheel and why they tow so much nicer. But because it's a mid-profile, you are going to have some framework that is now in the bedroom. But I've never, as many as I've used, I've never had any kind of an issue getting into bed or getting to my closets with that step up. So I think a person should see one themselves, see one in person, because maybe on video it appears to be something that would be odd, but when you get into bed, it really is not a big deal. In fact, it's almost like having a stool to get into bed. So I actually think it's actually kind of beneficial. You also have storage up above, just like you would in a standard outdoors RV travel trailer with the north-south bed. It is going to be a little bit bigger on this side and a little bit smaller on that side. And that is because they have the third slide out here in the bedroom. And so it has to have room to slide in when in position. But you have a huge wardrobe closet. And then I used to line mine with shoes. So hiking boots or whatever I needed to take, you can kind of pack for all seasons, really. You also have that extra storage that I just showed you under the bed. So this model, any of the Glacier Peaks, they have so much storage in the kitchen area, but then so much storage here in the bedroom area as well, that you can really stay out for a long time in one of these fifth wheels. So if you're just wanting to take week or 2 week long trips, or maybe you want to stay out for 6 months, year, or maybe you want to live in it, the Glacier Peak really does have an ample amount of storage for pretty much all things, especially this F27KVS. And there's additional storage underneath each nightstand. Each nightstand also has a 110 outlet, 12-volt outlet, as well as USB ports. And then another part of the slide out is actually going to be in the bathroom. There's a linen closet here in the bathroom. A few more things to note in the bedroom. This particular model we ordered with the bedroom air conditioner. That's a new option on the Glacier Peak that you can actually get from the factory. We also ordered it with 1,000 watts of solar. And then you always have a skylight here in the bedroom, which really does add a lot of daylight. But if you don't want all that daylight, you can just shut the shade so you can sleep in. Pocket door to the bathroom because it's a Jack and Jill style bathroom. And then you do, like in all Glacier Peaks, you have the 12-volt TV in the bedroom as well. One thing I absolutely loved about my Glacier Peaks is how the glass door slides into itself versus swinging out. So you get a little bit bigger neo-angle shower pan. Because it's a titanium, you're going to get the upgraded hardware. You always have a skylight for additional headroom. But then I love how it rolls into itself so it doesn't take up any space in the bathroom. Towel hooks, porcelain toilet. You always have a heat duct and an air conditioning duct in all of the outdoors RV bathrooms. Then a lot of storage here in the Glacier Peak. Not sure if you can see that, but there's a lot of storage here. There's a lot of counter space. Underslung stainless steel sink and solid surface countertops because it's a titanium. You also get the magnifying mirror because it's a titanium. Solid hardwood medicine cabinet. Another max air fan. Now, if you didn't have the bedroom air conditioner, you would have another max fan there, but it would be the 10-speed fully automatic, the one that goes in or out. This one is going to be exhaust only because it's in the bathroom. Pump switch here on the wall. So if you need to stop going down the road and just hop in and use the restroom, you can turn the pump on right here at the wall. And then let's back up and I will show you this little linen closet here with another drawer. So as I stated earlier, there's a lot of storage in the F27KVS. So now let's take a peek at what it looks like with the slide outs in, and then we'll go do a walk around of the outside. And with the slide outs in, you can access the entire kitchen and everything in it. The pantry right here, as well as the refrigerator. We just don't recommend that you step on the slide outs when they're in, but you can easily walk through here and access the entire bedroom, bathroom, everything. It's a little bit tight here on the TV cabinet, so I don't know that I'd put anything in here that you needed to access while going down the road, but everything in the whole coach is accessible. The titanium series here on the outside is absolutely gorgeous. So you get the gray Lamelux High Gloss 4000 fiberglass. So it's a thicker, higher grade, and it's shinier than on the typical Mountain series. Another thing I love is going to be the frameless windows. That's what I talked about earlier. So they give it a more sleek designer look, but also I love the way that they pop open versus sliding open, because then you can run them in inclement weather. If you have small pets, they can't climb out of the windows. So that's something that I like, but I also really just like the look of them. And then auto leveling. So the 27 KVS is going to come with the 6-point auto leveling. So when you unhitch from your truck, you push a button and the entire fifth wheel is going to auto level itself. The F27 KVS has a couple different little storage areas than you'll find on the other fifth wheels. So right here, you have a storage that goes about to here. Double slam latch doors or latches on that. You get the electric awning. It is wrapped in aluminum. Now the titanium series is going to typically come with slide out toppers, but any outdoors RV that has a door slide out like this, so the 260 KVS, this model, 250 RKS, they are not going to have the slide topper on this side because there's just not enough clearance from the awning to the slide out topper. So you can run that awning out just about this far and it will cover the slide out. But the awning is all electric. It can run off that remote and it does have the aluminum to keep it protected. Just like all other outdoors RVs, this one is also going to come equipped with the Off-Road X4 suspension package. So that's going to be the All-Trek 4000 suspension by MoreRide. Heavy-duty shackles with bronze bushings, greasable zerts, and then the KYB off-road shocks. Now, I would like to point out that it's not just for off-roading. A lot of people maybe aren't even going to take their fifth wheel off-road, but the way the freeways are with the potholes and construction, it's always important to get something with exceptional suspension. And that's exactly why Outdoors RV puts that on all of their units. You're also going to get Load Range E Goodyear Endurance tires. You get the Lippert solid step. So this flips up into the doorway. You open the door and flip it down when you're ready to get into the trailer. You have the aluminum grab bar handle. And because it's a titanium, everything is going to be chrome accents. You have outside speakers here under the awning, and that will run off of the Bluetooth or CD in the inside. 110 outlets right here. Another thing I love about Glacier Peaks is the amount of storage underneath. You have the nice magnetic catch to hold up the insulated door. Everything is very well insulated as part of their Four Seasons package. So all of the luggage doors are going to be thicker than what you're going to see on normal fifth wheels in the industry. All of this is also insulated. You get the rubberized diamond plate flooring. You can see in here, there's a black table with a latch that actually comes with the fifth wheel. So a nice little picnic table to set up out here. Because this one has 1,000 watts of roof mount solar from the factory, it's going to have 2 of the solar charge regulators, battery kill switch. And then with this nice big compartment, a lot of people are using the Dometic 12-volt compressor fridges that we sell. You can plug that right into here. You've got 12-volt outlet or USB. And then right here, you have an additional 200 watts of solar that you can put right here. That's going to run through its own charge regulator. So if you get a portable solar panel, you need to make sure it has its own charge regulator. It's not going to run through the roof mount system. But more importantly, what we've been doing lately is we can swap out this plug and turn it into a Starlink port. So if you want to get a Starlink Mini and have Wi-Fi, excuse me, not Wi-Fi, but if you want to have satellite while traveling, you can get Starlink now and then use your TVs. They're all smart TVs. You can watch television right directly off of Amazon or Netflix. This is the battery location. So in the Glacier Peak, they have made it big enough to just barely fit 4 of the Battleborn 100 amp hour Battleborns, lithium batteries. Typically, if you're going to be in cold weather, we would recommend the heated Battleborn battery. Side marker cameras. So that works in conjunction with the rear observation camera, and that is a titanium feature that comes when you order the titanium package. Right here in front, you have a little bit more storage here, but most importantly, you have the Onan 5500 generator. And like I stated earlier, this is a very quiet genset. So when you are inside the coach and running the generator, it's very, very quiet, more so than like the 3000 watt. You've got a tank, gray tank handle and then black tank handle. This is where you will pull the handles. It's not where you dump from. I'll show you that on the side, but this is where you would pull the valve handles for one of the gray tanks and the black tank. Because this is a rear kitchen model, it's actually going to have 2 gray tanks. So I'll show you that as well. When we talked a little bit inside about the mid profile on the Glacier Peak fifth wheel, this is what I was talking about. So often you see fifth wheels that have a big flat front, but those catch a lot of wind. Shockingly different between a mid profile and a full profile. I have pulled multiple of both, and one time I was towing, it was actually a Glacier Peak. They made a full profile for just 1 year, and I actually thought my brakes were on. It was that heavy. And the only difference, the length was the same as my original fifth wheel. The weight was the same as my original fifth wheel. The only difference was that the front wasn't aerodynamic like this one was. And so it wasn't my favorite floor plan that I've ever used. So they only made it for 1 year because it just wasn't their, thing. They really preferred the mid profile. So they've gone all mid profile. They use the max turn radius cap. So if you have a Ford or a Chevy in the standard cab, so the 6.5 foot bed, you do not need a slider hitch. If you have a Ram, unfortunately, the way they place their axle, it's so close to the cab and the bed is a little shorter. With a Ram, you are going to need a slider hitch or a long box. So a long box works great in any model, but Ford and Chevy, you don't need a slider hitch with this particular fifth wheel setup. You get the More Ride Kingpin, and this also has suspension in it, so it's going to give you a nice tow. And then as far as fifth wheel hitches, we really love B&W brand. We've been using them for years. They're American made. They're one of the highest quality hitches. So typically if you're buying a Ford or a Chevy, it's going to come pre-prepped for a fifth wheel hitch. And we just drop in the puck style B&W. That would be our hitch of choice. This side, you have your propane tank storage, so 2 7.5 gallon propane tanks. You have the access from this side to your full pass-through storage. Here are your auto leveling controls. Right here is where you would fill your 80-gallon freshwater tank. If you don't want to run off of your tank and you want to run off of city water, this is where you would connect. You have your low point drains for winterizing. When you dump your black, here is where you would hook up your Santa flush. Outside shower port. So this is going to be, it's no longer a shower, it's more of a spray port. And then you have a little hatch right here, because people ask, well, how do I have to leave this open in order to have my hoses connected? No. So you have a little hatch right here. You can run your hose up to the city water connection. That way you can have this shut. And then, so the 2 handles are going to be in that front compartment, but right here is where the waste and the gray water will come out. So here is your hookup. You have a little light here if you need it. And then the slide toppers I was talking about. So you will see on this side, the titanium series comes standard with the slide toppers. So that keeps any kind of debris off the roof of your slide out, as well as rain. So that just keeps everything off. And when you run the slide out back in, everything goes off the slide out. Over here, this is for your second gray water tank, and you have a handle right here. This is where you would connect your 50 amp cord, satellite and cable, access and venting to your furnace. This is where you would put your garbage can. So your garbage can chute that comes from the kitchen, this is where you would empty it. And there's plenty of room in here. I've had people keep rubber gloves, extra garbage sacks and things of that nature. Again, Outdoors RV uses 2 latches, even on their smallest doors. So you can tell they don't scrimp. A heavy duty 4-inch steel bumper. We option all of ours in with the rear receiver hitch. So that will hold up to 250 pounds. So if you have e-bikes or something, you can hook that up there. 10-gallon rapid recovery, DSI gas and electric water heater. Backup lights are going to be standard on the titanium series. And then you have the rear observation camera that works with the side marker cameras. A question I get a lot is, does that interface directly with the screen already in my truck? It does not. So as far as right now, I am not aware of Ford, Chevy, or Dodge having any kind of a camera that's wireless that would communicate to the dash. So this will actually have its own 7-inch monitor that comes with the trailer. Full-size spare tire is actually underneath on the Glacier Peak, so that's why it's not here on the back. And then you have a full-size heavy-duty ladder to get up onto the walk-on roof. So if you need to check sealants or touch up the rubber or something to condition it, we do recommend that you get up and at least check your sealants every 6 months. So the roof is a full walk-on roof, but you have a good access way to get up there with this heavy-duty ladder. Thank you so much for watching our video on the F27KVS. If you have questions on this model or any of our Glacier Peaks, we have the number listed down below. Feel free to give us a call.